The first test match at the Woolloongabba Ground, Brisbane, December 1962. Australia's captain Richie Benaud on the left wins the toss from England's Ted Dexter, and Australia will bat on a pitch which is expected to produce a lot of runs. Benaud has gained a decided advantage for his team. The Australians' openers are Laurie and Simpson. Play starts with Statham bowling to Laurie. The single to Laurie is the first run of the match. Statham now to Simpson. One run off Statham's opening over, and it's Truman coming in from the far end to bowl to Laurie. The tall left-hander plays with confidence as he takes two more runs. And confidence is the right word to describe the attitude of the Australians at the moment. Australia has not lost a test on this ground since Gubby Allen's Englishmen were successful in 1936. Since the war, this Brisbane pitch has favoured Australian batsmen. But Freddie Truman, who has scant regard for record or reputation, extracts some life, and Laurie is in trouble. This time, without aid from the pitch, Truman has Laurie beaten, and it's a catch to Keeper Smith. Laurie out for 5, and Truman has upset the complacency of the Australian supporters who predicted a score of 600. Only 5 in 20 minutes, with O'Neill to face the new ball. But first, Statham bowls to Simpson, who scores his first runs with a good-looking drive. Two runs to Simpson, and interest centres on Truman and O'Neill. The new batsman is regarded as a nervous starter, and his eagerness to score almost causes a run-out. O'Neill, safely home, keeps the strike against Statham. A misfield gives O'Neill another run. Just 2 weeks before this match, O'Neill and Simpson batted a similar attack with a partnership of more than 200 for New South Wales. O'Neill, with a flashing cut, shows that he's determined to get on top again, and this is the first 4 of the day. It's a good battle now, attacking bowler versus aggressive batsman. O'Neill takes 5 off Truman, and now he faces Knight, who comes on in place of Statham. The change from speed to medium pace has come after an hour's play, and O'Neill, although he plays uppishly here, is the batsman most likely to punish the new bowler. England, with only one spinner in this team, lacks real bowling variety, and Truman has kept on in a long spell. O'Neill here scores the second 4 of his innings. Four to O'Neill, and Australia's score is 46, the last 40 coming in even time. Then Truman raises an extra ounce of effort, a nasty riser. O'Neill jabs and he's out, caught by Statham. O'Neill out for 19, while Simpson has scored 21 without looking nearly as aggressive. Harvey now faces Truman. The patient Simpson, who's wearing a cap for a change, is batting solidly, and this cut is probably the best stroke of his innings so far. Four to Simpson. Apart from the odd boundary, Truman has won most of the applause with a sustained display of spirited bowling. Despite Truman's efforts, the batsmen score steadily, and good running between wickets has been a feature. Shortly before lunch, Dexter comes on, and Harvey is the batsman. Harvey gets a single, and Simpson, now on 50, faces the next ball. Dexter has something of the Keith Miller manner in the way he captures important wickets without apparent effort. Simpson misjudges the full shot, and he's out, caught by Truman. Simpson out for 50, and Truman has featured in all 3 dismissals. Back to Dexter, bowling to the new batsman, Burge. After Dexter, it's Titmus bowling the last over before lunch. Harvey's single brings Burge in front of the off-spinner, and the powerful hook shot is the last scoring stroke of the morning's play. Four to Burge, and Australia is 3 for 97 at lunch. England has used all 5 regular bowlers, and that's unusual for the first morning of a test match. On resumption, the player to capture attention is Freddie Truman. With this ball, the fast bowler gets another vital wicket when Dexter takes a good catch to dismiss Peter Burge. Burge made 6, and Australia has lost 4 of its best wickets. Booth comes in, and Truman continues his over. Booth, cool as ever, plays a fine stroke to start a great innings for Australia. Booth's arrival is the signal for some quick scoring by the Australians. First Harvey and then Booth pick up runs in this over from the English captain Dexter. Booth and Harvey score quickly, much to the crowd's enjoyment. Here's Statham again, and the change in bowling ends a promising partnership. Harvey, beaten here, is bowled by Statham soon after. Harvey made 39, which is exactly the amount of his stand with Booth. Statham bowls now to Davidson, and the scoring moves along at the post-lunch rate of 1 a minute. Booth, playing a fine innings, faces off-spinner Titmus. Although Booth gets a single here, this bowler has been most economical. The selection of Titmus was a point of contention, and many English supporters felt that Allen would have been a better choice. Ten minutes later, there's a change of ends, and Titmus bowls to Booth, who's on 45. That's 4 runs, and Booth is on 49. They go through for a single, and that's 50 to Brian Booth. It's also the 50 partnership with Booth, the major partner. Davidson now is facing Knight, and this cut brings a single to take the batsman's score to 23. Once again, a bowling change brings a wicket. Barrington comes on, Davidson attempts a sweep, and it's a catch to Truman in the outfield. Australia has lost 6 for 194 as Barrington bowls to a cautious Mackay. Mackay survives the over, and Titmus bowls to Booth, who ignores the fall of wickets by going for his shots. Barrington again with his leg breaks, and when Mackay takes a single to score his first run, the Australian total has reached 200. On comes Statham with the new ball, but the change doesn't affect the batsmen who continue to play attractive cricket. A delightful square drive is Booth's answer to the new ball. The Australians, despite the fall of wickets, have added 100 between lunch and tea, and that's good striking for a test match. That's 4 to Booth, and here's Statham's reaction. The new ball is shared by Truman, and Mackay is the batsman taking strike. The dour left-hander is playing a solid, careful innings, and where possible, he is taking singles to give the strike to his partner, Booth. That's 4 more runs, and now Booth is on 97. Booth goes to 98, and he faces Dexter. A quick run, and Booth goes to 99. Dexter runs in to bowl to Mackay. It's steered through the gully, and off they go for a sharp single, and once again, Booth has the strike. It's through the field, and Booth has reached his century, his first in a test match. The 4 takes Booth to 103, a fine innings taking less than 3 hours to compile. In the next half hour, Booth and Mackay add another 30 runs to reach their 100 partnership. Mackay, the lesser member, has scored only 40. The stand ends when Titmus bowls to Booth. This time, the batsman mistimes his drive and he's out, caught by Dexter. Booth 112, Australia 7 for 297. And so far, 6 of the 7 batsmen dismissed have been caught. Benno comes in to face Statham, and the Australian captain is not wasting time because this is the most expensive over of the innings. That's 2 runs to Benno. It's late afternoon now, and the fast bowlers are tired after a long day in the field. First Benno and then Mackay take heavy toll on the weary Statham. Ten off the over so far, and Benno makes it 11 with another single. Later, Ray Lindwall described Benno's innings as one of his best efforts in a test. Now Statham tries a bumper, but all Mackay does is chew his gum a fraction faster. Later, Benno was dismissed, and this is Knight bowling the last ball of the first day. The Australian innings continued until lunch on the second day. Benno made 51, Mackenzie 4, and Jarman 2. Mackay, who finished undefeated with 86 against his name, gets a great ovation from the Brisbane crowd. For England, Truman 3 for 76 and Knight 3 for 65 shared the bowling honours. Now the start of England's innings with Davidson bowling to Puller. The pitch has rolled out into a good batting surface, and Puller makes stroke play look easy as he picks up runs in a bright start for England. A boundary opens the score, and Puller follows up with another forceful stroke. Six runs off Davidson's first over, and on comes Mackenzie with a full attacking field. Shepherd's forcing drive finds the open spaces in front of the wicket, and it's a long chase for the fieldsman. Shepherd gets 3, and both batsmen have started well. But accurate bowling by Mackenzie and Davidson keeps the scoring in check. The batsmen put on 20 in the first half hour, which, by the way, is a big improvement on the Australian start. Puller is the sounder of the two, and Shepherd is uncertain when Mackenzie gets some lift from the pitch. Booth fields, and here's Mackenzie again. The Australian bowlers are being supported by some outstanding efforts in the field. Here a certain 4 is saved, and just watch this great return by Norman O'Neill. 2 only to Shepherd. The openers survived the new ball period, and now it's Benno with his leg spinners. It's overpitched, and Puller shows that he can drive as well as the next man. That's 4, but Benno gets his revenge, and Puller is out, caught and bowled. Puller out for 33, and England has made a reasonable start. The position slumps in the next over from Benno. Shepherd, beaten, pops up a catch to Mackenzie, and he's out for 31. The players take tea, and Benno, with 2 for 12, has England in trouble. Davidson is the bowler on resumption, and Dexter, with a crashing hook shot, gives the Australians a foretaste of things to come. Dexter has launched his attack on the bowlers, and the next hour is a period of sheer cricketing pleasure. Few present-day players can dominate the game in the grand manner of Ted Dexter. That's 9 off Davidson's over, and Benno is the next bowler to experience the might of Dexter's stroke play. A brief moment of defence. Cowdrey, at the other end, like thousands of spectators, is content to stay there and watch. Nine off Davidson, and now 9 off Benno. On comes Mackay in an effort to check the scoring. But Dexter in this mood is a hard man to contain. The 2 makes Dexter 49, and Davidson will bowl to Cowdrey, whose contribution to the partnership has been small compared to Dexter's. He's playing the right game, and this single gives Dexter the strike against Davidson. A single, and that's Dexter's 50. 50 in 65 minutes, while Cowdrey made 16 in the same time. Mackay continues the attack, and Cowdrey is starting to look for runs. For the next half hour, Mackay manages to keep Dexter on the defensive, and it's Cowdrey who tries aggression. Simpson is the bowler, and this Cowdrey square cut is the best stroke of his innings. The change from defence to attack brings about Cowdrey's downfall. He lofts his pull shot, and Laurie takes the catch in the outfield. Cowdrey made 21, and his partnership with Dexter yielded 80 runs. Barrington comes in to join his captain, and he faces Simpson, the wicket-taker. Barrington is away to a good start as he scores off his first ball. Three to Barrington, and Simpson bowls to Dexter, who is strangely sedate after his early batting fireworks. The single here makes his score 70 in 2 hours, with 50 in the first hour and only 20 in the second. On comes Benno in the fading evening light, and his next ball captures Dexter's wicket. Dexter out for 70, and England has lost 4 for 169. On the morning of the third day, Benno is the bowler, and Barrington gives a Dexter-like performance with a battery of boundary strokes. Barrington's partner at the crease is wicket-keeper Smith, who was sent in as night watchman late on the second day. Barrington, full of aggression, takes advantage of some loose balls from the Australian captain. Quick runs to Barrington, and the next bowler is Mackenzie. Smith, beaten by speed, snicks, and it's a catch to keep a jump. Smith out for 21, and England is 5 for 220. Parfitt is the next batsman to face Mackenzie. Barrington takes a single off Davidson, and his score now has passed 50. Barrington and Parfitt are the last two specialist batsmen, and they put on more than 70 runs in a valuable stand for England. The single to Parfitt makes him 40, and Davidson bowls to Barrington. A firm stroke beats the onside field, and they take 3 runs to take Barrington to 78. After a long spell by the two fast bowlers, Benno comes back, and he tries to trick Barrington with his flipper. Varying his flight, Benno tosses the next one up, Barrington drives, it's in the air, and he's out to a great catch by Burge in the covers. The end of Barrington, who made 78. England is 107 behind the Australian score with 4 wickets in hand. 4 wickets to Benno, who bowls to the new batsman, Titmus. Spin from one end and speed from the other. Parfitt's hook shot off Mackenzie brings up the 300 for England. England 7 for 300 and Titmus opposes Mackenzie. The new batsman recovers from a shaky start, and this is the first run of his innings. The Australians, eager for wickets, can't separate the stubborn English pair. Now it's Mackenzie from the other end, but it makes little difference. Titmus and Parfitt take the score past 350, and Parfitt now has reached the 70s. Parfitt, in particular, is very severe on the fast bowler Mackenzie. The 4 takes Parfitt to 79, and he's top scorer for England. Then a wicket fell when Titmus was caught. Simpson bowled Benno for 21. The 7th wicket put on 64 runs, and England is only 43 behind. Mackenzie bowls to Knight. He attempts a leg glance, and he's out, caught by Davidson. Knight failed to score. England 8 for 362. Then another bad blow for England. Benno is the bowler. Parfitt attempts to force the pace, and he's out to a second catch by Davidson. Parfitt made a solid 80, and England, with 9 wickets down, is still 42 behind. The chief wicket-taker is Benno, and neither Truman nor Statham is expected to last very long. But it's good fun while it does. Truman here indulges in an exercise known as Find the Missing Ball. There's no compromise as far as Freddie Truman is concerned. It's either hit or miss, and this time it's miss. The end of Benno's over, and Mackenzie bowls to Statham. Off they go for the cheekiest of cheeky singles, and the last wicket stand has yielded at least 1 run. Truman has the strike, and for once the bat finds the ball, or perhaps it's vice versa. Never before in the field of human endeavour has so much effort been expended for so little result. This is a better shot, and loud applause greets Truman's first runs. Truman gets 2 runs, and Benno starts a new over. Statham joins in the fun, and that's through the field for 4. England only 35 behind Australia's score as Mackenzie bowls to Truman. A single, England 34 behind. Mackenzie tries hard to end the innings, but Statham is determined to stay if he can. Now a sensational over from Benno, Truman taking strike. The first 4 to Truman. The second 4 to Truman. Now the hit of the match. It soars over long on, and it's gone for 6. A single off the last ball, and that's 15 off the over. Truman keeps strike, and fast bowler Mackenzie puts a dampener on his scoring intentions. Mackenzie bowls, and Truman is caught behind. Truman indicates that the ball came off his pocket, but later he apologized to the umpire for questioning the decision. Truman and Statham added 27, and England is only 15 behind on the first innings. Benno finished with the fine figures of 6 for 115. England's innings finished 40 minutes before stumps on the 3rd day, and the Australian opening pair Simpson and Laurie will face a torrid opening attack from Truman and his partner Statham. Simpson has almost played on, the ball finishing a few inches from the stumps. The light is not good, and the batsman will have to struggle for survival. Truman is putting everything into this opening over, but Simpson manages to take a single off the last ball to keep strike against Statham. It's off the edge, but it's safe, and they take a single. Now Laurie, who went early in the first innings, faces Statham. Laurie plays a leg glance. Smith makes a great effort, but it's through, and Laurie has scored his first runs. 2 runs to Laurie, and it's Statham again. At the end of the third day's play, the Australian openers had put on 16, which is in fact a lead of 31. Statham continues on the morning of the 4th day, and Laurie is kept on the defensive. A maiden over to Statham, and Dexter calls on Truman once more. The big fast bowler is England's main means of attack, but can he repeat his fine effort of the first innings? Simpson gets a single, and now he awaits Statham. The position of the match is interesting with 2 days left to play. Australia, to win, must score runs quickly in an effort to build a big enough lead before closing. But England will be difficult to dismiss because the pitch is still playing easily and it's not taking spin. After a steady start, Laurie is starting to look for runs, and the attitude of the batsman suggests that Australia is trying for a win. After a short burst of 3 overs from Truman, the medium pacer, Knight, is brought on. One to Laurie, and Simpson faces Knight. Both batsmen are playing with assurance, and this develops into a fine opening stand. Titmus comes on, and the Australians feature with some good stroke play and clever running between wickets. Another well-run single, and that's 6 off the over. Simpson is scoring the faster, and Dexter here receives some heavy punishment. This off-drive brings Simpson his second 50 of the match. Simpson takes a leaf from Dexter's book as he takes revenge on behalf of the Australian bowlers. Another 4, and that's the 100 up. The bowlers are having a hard time on this pitch, and Simpson and Laurie are maintaining a scoring rate of 1 a minute. Another single, and it's Dexter to Laurie on 49. That's Laurie's 50, and Australia is in a very strong position. Then about 10 minutes later, the English captain causes the breakthrough. Simpson snicks, and he's out, caught by Smith. Simpson out for 71, and Australia leads by 151. O'Neill comes in to watch Laurie as he takes another single from Statham. Statham bowls, and O'Neill tries to force the ball through the onside field, and they take a leg by. Australia wants runs, and O'Neill follows instructions in this over from Knight. Here is the first of 2 outstanding shots from O'Neill. Eight runs off Knight's over, and Truman is brought back to slow down the tempo. Laurie, however, takes a single, and the Australian score has raced past 200. Now it's Truman to O'Neill, but the batsman is on the defensive. Titmus to Laurie on 98. Laurie attempts a pull shot, but he plays it straight to Shepherd. Laurie is out for 98, and Harvey will join O'Neill, with Australia holding a lead of 231. Truman bowls, and now O'Neill is throwing his bat at everything in an effort to score runs quickly. One leg by, and now Harvey scores off his first ball. Australia's two top attacking batsmen are together, and England at least faces the possibility of defeat if these two can dominate the bowling. The players leave the field for tea, and Australia leads by 238. The evening session starts with Statham bowling, and O'Neill sets about the attack with a flurry of powerful strokes. Four runs, and that's O'Neill's 50. He scored 10 in 5 minutes since tea, and English supporters breathe a sigh of relief when Statham traps him in front with this ball. O'Neill out for 56, and Australia's lead has built up to 256. In the next hour, Harvey and Burge pile on the runs, and Harvey is the fourth Australian to reach a half-century in this innings. It's village green cricket, with Harvey trying to hit everything out of the ground. This time he's out to a catch by Statham off Dexter. Harvey made 57. With less than half an hour to go before stumps, Australia leads by 340. Booth now faces Titmus. Booth and Burge put on 37 runs in the last 27 minutes. And at stumps on the fourth day, Australia, with 4 down for 362, is in a position to close. His Grace, the Duke of Norfolk, on the left, is interested in the pitch, and so too are Richie Benno and his vice-captain Neil Harvey in street clothes. Benno closes on the morning of the last day, and this is the position of the match. With 6 hours play remaining, England needs 378 to win. Play starts, and it's Davidson to Puller. Here's the first scoring stroke of the innings. England to win must maintain a rate of 63 an hour, a fast tempo by modern test match standards. A confident appeal for leg before is disallowed, and that's the end of Davidson's over. The next bowler is Mackenzie, and Puller is taking strike. It's off the edge, and it's through the slips for 4. Puller obviously is trying to score, but a run a minute, simple enough in theory, is difficult because the field has been set on a tight, run-saving pattern. Let's remember, too, that the Australians, chasing runs, could only manage 58 an hour in their second innings. Puller, ignoring facts and figures, plays some forcing strokes off Mackenzie to pick up more runs for England. Two runs to Puller for a total of 8 off Mackenzie's over. Left-hander Davidson is harder to get away, and scoring for the most part is made up of singles. Shepherd here scores his first run. Two runs off Davidson, and Mackenzie, keeping a better length, brings run getting to a halt. Puller and Shepherd, although they're not worried by the bowlers, are just not scoring fast enough. This cut from Puller brings a single, and the total goes to 20 after 35 minutes. Shepherd and Puller bat soundly for the next hour. But accurate bowling by Davidson in particular keeps the scoring down to a rate of about 3 and over. Neither batsman appears to be suited for this particular situation. Puller seems to have a limited range of attacking strokes, while Shepherd only produces his forcing shots on rare occasions. The winning of the match is not the only factor for consideration by the Englishmen. They can lose quite easily if the batting collapses, and the two batsmen have reduced the chances of defeat with this good opening stand. Fast bowler Mackenzie almost breaks the partnership when Puller snicks and Jarman drops the catch. The least concerned is the fatalistic Puller, who goes along as if nothing has happened. Puller gets another single, and Shepherd will face the last ball before the adjournment for lunch. Two more to Shepherd, and at lunch, the openers have scored 83 in 2 hours' play. After lunch, it's Mackenzie from a different end, and England has 4 hours in which to score 295. That, by the way, is a rate of 74 an hour. Shepherd's single takes him to 49, and he's just ahead of Puller, who's on 45. Puller plays one of the best shots of his innings when he turns the ball through the leg side field. That's 4 runs and the 100 up for England. Puller also is on 49, and now it's Benno bowling to Shepherd. A maiden to Benno, and Mackenzie bowls to Puller. Puller on 49 gets a single, and there's his 50. For a change, Benno comes around the wicket. Puller hits with the spin, and that's through the field for 4. After reaching his half-century, Puller's mood changes, and now he's trying to step up the scoring rate. This time it's only a single, and Shepherd, still on 49, will face Benno bowling over the wicket. Shepherd drives firmly, and the single makes him 50. Since lunch, the scoring has improved, and 30 have been added in 25 minutes. 2 overs later, Davidson bowls to Puller. The next ball, Puller hits up a catch, and he's out, caught and bowled by Davidson. Puller out for 56, and Dexter is facing Davidson. Dexter has scored his first run, and in Benno's next over, the English captain sets a lively pace with a burst of fast scoring. Dexter has 7 off 3 balls, and Benno bowls to Shepherd. In the next half hour, Shepherd gets most of the strike, and the scoring slows down. This single is Shepherd's first run in 15 minutes. In a new over from Davidson, Shepherd snicks, and he's out, caught by Benno. Shepherd out for 53, and Cowdrey comes in to face Davidson. England now wants 253 to win in a little less than 3 hours. But anything is possible while Dexter is there, and Mackenzie is the bowler who suffers. Dexter loses the strike, and Mackenzie will bowl to Cowdrey, who plays the ball through the gully to score his first run. But Dexter, as usual, is dominating the scene. He's very severe on Mackenzie, and he needs 2 from this shot to reach his 50. Dexter, 50 in 85 minutes, which is a good scoring rate. Back to Benno bowling to Cowdrey a few minutes before tea. Cowdrey seems to be playing quite well, but watch as Benno follows up to take a great one-handed catch, and Cowdrey is out for 9. At tea, England is 187 runs behind with only 2 hours batting time before stumps. Play resumes with Benno bowling to Barrington. Barrington scores his first run, and Simpson now is the bowler. The single brings Dexter in front of Simpson, and this pull shot is the start of a sequence of power strokes by England's captain. The barrage of boundaries takes Dexter to 99, and there he must stay while Davidson bowls to Barrington. A maiden over to Davidson, and then Mackenzie to Dexter. Dexter bowled Mackenzie for 99, the first player to be dismissed for 99 in Anglo-Australian tests since Keith Miller made a similar score in Adelaide in 1951. With 40 minutes to go before stumps, Australia has a slender chance of winning. Barrington now is facing Davidson. He snicks and Mackenzie takes the catch. Barrington out for 23.